I'll make it work.
What were we saying?
Oh, so I saw the reels of you guys doing like the TC transaction, and then that's when I reached out to you because I knew you did Turo.
Yep. It was power of social media, right? Just sharing what you do, and people come across. You can get business like this, whether it's Turo, real estate, business, whatever it is. It's you got to put yourself out there, I think. And I haven't been. I need to really step that up next year because there's a lot of stuff I'm working on that some people might want to know about, hear about, or maybe going through a similar experience and they can learn from it.
Absolutely. With Turo, it's something, every time we go on vacation, I want to get a Turo because the difference between Turo and Enterprise, you get to pick your car. And then you get this custom service, like white glove service, and it's more personalized and it's just a lot more like streamlined.
Absolutely. And I think what I was mentioning was you were the first Turo booking that we had, so I hadn't even had the automated messages go out yet, because usually I do just that. Depending on where they book and what they deliver, what option they chose, they'll get a message that basically gives them step-by-step instructions on what to do, how to do it, and everything. It's really helpful for people, and it's automated too, so I don't have to be doing it myself.
How about, is where you park the Turo for me the same as?
With airport deliveries, it's the East Economy lot, so it's the same location for everybody. That one, I went to the very top level just because I didn't want to have like too many cars around. You could take a little extra care of like the most expensive car in the fleet. But yeah, when someone chooses airport delivery, they get it right to that lot, and it's very convenient for people to just ride the tram right over from the terminal straight to the car.
Funny story. First time on the tram, right? I'm like, okay, Trey, we got to go to the Skywalk something. And we went all the way down the tram. Everybody gets off. What are we supposed to do? Then we had to ride it back around again. And then we were like, oh, this is where we're supposed to get off. But that's why it took us a little bit extra time. This is how I got to here.
Of course. And totally.
I could tag you because I'm sure in the future, any other Subto student that comes to Arizona here, and if they're going to go rent a Turo, that would be so helpful.
But yeah, totally. And it's funny you say that because when Abraham picked up a car for me, he like was calling me. To me, I guess I need to do a better job explaining that message, because to me it's like, oh, just take the PHX SkyTrain to East Economy lot, and it makes sense, but maybe a little bit more detailed instruction would help next time. Because Abraham called me too. He's like, hey, where do I go? I'm here now. And I'm like, oh, you have to follow the signs that say to East Economy lot, and then you get off there, and then there's like two garages, A and B, and then you go into that one, and there it is.
I think it was the garage B. We went up A, and we're like, oh, there's only 2 floors. We're supposed to be at 6. Oh no. But I mean, I did get a couple footage of the signs and where you turn. I think that'll be helpful.
No, that totally would. That's a great suggestion.
I'm a visual person, but I think for me and the kids, we were like, oh, free ride on the Sky. We just went back and forth. It was fun.
Nice.
But I mean, so how did you get into Turo?
It was like we wanted a family vehicle, and I didn't want a payment for one.
Okay.
So we just kind of did a little homework, and we started out with the minivan, actually, because I didn't want to drive a minivan every day too. But then sometimes they're really convenient, and actually they're really nice. I don't know if you've been inside of a Toyota Sienna, but they're really nice. We have like 7 of them now. But
nice.
the Sienna, we started as a family car so we could do road trips and stuff, and we'd rent it when we're not using it. So it just kept getting rented, and I was like, did a little bit more homework, did more research, and then just like in real estate, just like in business, I found a community for a Turo host. I went to a meetup, and then I actually found a Turo mentor. He actually has 130 cars on Turo.
What?
He's been on Turo since like 2016. So he has so much experience that I just got really close to him. He's a good friend of mine now, and I learned a lot from him because all the experience and all the cars that he has and everything he's been through. So just when you're trying to figure something out, the hack is get a mentor.
That was my next question, but you answer it well. Because how do I get there faster? But
Yeah.
the answer is a mentor.
100%.
I love the Tesla, and we were thinking about getting like a secondary car. I think my only hiccup would be the charging part if you have to drive so far. But I mean, I think it would work for a secondary car. I would compare the Tesla doors, kind of like the minivan where you push a button and it's like. My husband, he's always like, come on, like you gotta get a minivan. Kids, you go get meal supplies. It's so convenient. And I'm just like, what?
They're so nice and convenient for all those reasons you said. Hauling stuff around, whether it's people or supplies, it's just, they're convenient, but they're not like the sexiest. They're not as appealing as a Tesla, but they're very practical and they definitely come in handy.
All right, so maybe we might get one as a backup.
There you go.
But the fact that, do you think that you live so close to airport helps?
Definitely does. I think Turo is one of those businesses where it's really market dependent. It's very based on your location, your competitors in that area. So I think it makes a huge difference. I'm only 15 minutes from the airport. And then not all my cars are at my house. I have some cars that are here, which I have some of the employees will check on those and get those cleaned out and ready to go. I have some cars at my sister's house. I pay her to get some cars washed out and ready to go. And then between me, Melissa, and some family members, we maneuver the rest of them. But I'm at a point where I can't really grow unless I get a bigger team. I'm in the process of buying an auto body shop, and a body shop that's going to really help me scale that, but it's also going to be another form of renting cars, because you think about an auto body shop, people get in a collision, they leave their cars there for days, weeks, even months. So it'll be an easy rental to those customers, and then vice versa. And then the other thing too is, like on Turo, sometimes you make money via damage claims. Someone damages my car and I send them an invoice for $1,000, but I own a body shop and it really only cost me like $200. There's a profit margin right there. There's another synergy in why the body shop makes sense. But I've been hunting for a body shop the last 6 months, and we finally have one under contract, and we're doing due diligence right now. So hoping to close by February of next year, a couple months.
Are you getting zero down? Is that what you're doing?
No, I joined another mentorship, Dealmaker Protege. Abraham's, it's not his mentorship, but he was a part of it. And the mentor there is Carl Allen. I don't know if you know Carl Allen. He's in Subto-ing now. But the Creative Con, the conference that was just this weekend, that's Carl Allen with Abraham, and then they had like Pace and Jamil speak, but that's all part of Dealmaker Protege. And I joined that about 6 months ago, because that's when I started looking for the body shop, and it's a pretty good sized business. Been in business for 20 plus years and has a pretty big price tag, but I'm not using any of my money to get this business under wraps. It's all private money, seller note, assumption of an SBA loan. It's like a very creative hybrid deal.
I think that's like the highlight, that you're not using your own money and you're using private money.
I would have never thought it was possible, a year or two ago, because my mindset wasn't there. But getting a mentor helps with that type of stuff, because it opens your eyes and to a different world of possibility.
Right.
I would have never thought I could do that if I hadn't joined Carl's mentorship or been around Abraham, that's buying businesses left and right, and Pace as well. He's doing it all the time in real estate.
Absolutely. I started with, I have a nail salon, so I started with business, and then I think it's like once you make a certain amount, you're like, well, what do you do with it? I feel like I need to park it into something more passive. Mm-hmm. Would you say Turo is very hands-on, hands-off? Because I'm definitely looking for more passive stuff, and that's why I did multifamily, because you just hand it over and somebody else operates.
There's nothing passive about Turo. I don't think it's passive at all. I think it's semi-passive, because if you have one car and you wash it, take pictures, get it ready, get it out to the renter, but the renter takes it for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time, and you don't have to see that car for that time, that's semi-passive, but you still had to do all the work initially, right? So I wouldn't say it's passive at all, but it can be if you get those renters that do long-term rentals and stuff like that.
Right.
But no, right now it's crazy for us managing 20 cars. We got 5 cars to pick up today, we got 3 cars to get ready over here, and it's like we're all over the place. There's really nothing passive about it, but I think doing something like buying a body shop and then having those employees do that are already in the industry, that could be passive, but to operate your own Turo fleet, I don't believe it's passive at all.
I mean, once you have a good process and then you're able to delegate to elevate, and I love the fact that you have your family, from your sister to your wife, your kids, it makes it like this whole family event, and then you're able to build this legacy for your kids, and they'll know how to maintain it as they get older.
It's pretty awesome, and I would have never thought it, but it's pretty cool to be able to create opportunity for your family, not for everyone, but especially your family members if they're in a situation they're not happy about, or they just need some other type of opportunity. Just being able to create something for them is pretty cool, and it's satisfying in its own. So
amazing. If anybody was asking to start Turo, do you definitely recommend it?
I would say if you're in a situation like me initially, where you want a car and like a second car, to where you don't mind renting it out or turning it over, getting it ready, and that kind of stuff, like the little work that goes behind it. It's not a full-time job. Managing one car is not a full-time job, but it does take a little bit of work. I would say definitely go for it, because it's a good way to, almost like your house hacking, right? Like your car hacking, and you have other people pay your car payment. Scaling a Turo business is another thing. There's definitely ways to do it. It can be profitable, but there's also a lot of risk involved too, because I've had cars that have been totaled, that have been damaged, renters haven't been responsible. So there's that side of it too, but it can be profitable as long as you know what you're doing and you set it up correctly. But I would start out with something you don't mind paying for. If you're gonna say, I'm gonna get a weekend car or whatever, if you for some reason you start Turo and you don't like it, and now you're stuck with the car payment, at least make sure it's something you're gonna want to keep and you don't mind paying for as you go. As I wouldn't say go start out and buy 5 cars right away and do that, because you don't even know if you're gonna like it.
And definitely put the car name in your personal name, business name.
Oh, LLC all day. That's part of how I've been able to scale my business too, is I use a lot of business credit. So the cars, if you look at my personal credit, I have 1 car under my name, but I mean, I own 20. So it's like, just I just have my personal car, but everything else is titled in the LLC. It's either been a cash car, Subto, or business credit, and using business credit is a whole nother topic, but you have to get your business credit good in order to be able to finance cars in your business name. But yeah, if you can use business credit, definitely do that, because it goes a long way, and building a relationship with the bank is a lot easier than most people think. It's really not that hard.
Okay. And then last question, if you had to do cash, business credit, or Subto for a car, what is your favorite?
I think Subto, just because the same as real estate, you don't have to proof of credit, they don't have to run, or proof of income, run your credit, do all these things that the banks make you do, which if you qualify, great, but there's a lot of people that won't qualify. If you're in that section where your business credit isn't there yet, it's going to be easier to Subto. If you find a car that has a loan that's 2 or 3 years old, that has like a super low rate compared to where rates are today, that's another reason why. And I think just in the right situation, you can get a much better deal if you take over someone else's payments.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome. Thanks for stopping in.
Yes, the answer is get a mentor, get deals creatively, and start a legacy for your family. Get everybody involved.
I like it.
Well, thanks for your time.